Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice here with the Manylands campaign. It's been a hot minute due to unforeseeable illness-related stuff at my end, so sorry about that, but good news, feeling a lot better, hence we are back. And I, of course, am joined by some of our lovely players this evening, now... Guys, what did you do with the display? Because now I can't see anyone.
That's me. Sorry. Okay. I was just trying to look at all of us at one time. I'm turning it back off.
Turn it off. Bad. Turn the scene off immediately. Excellent.
I thought it was just going to be for me. Fuck.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay, well, as you can see by the name displays, I'm joined by James, Jess, and Dan this evening. We're hoping for a couple more. Unfortunately, various work commitments or being out of the country have hampered the rest of the party, but not to worry, we're carrying on regardless. Hang on, I can change my view. There we go. I can change it to my normal cat view, I think. Is that no? What has happened? Why have you done this? Okay, I got everyone back. Oh, thank God. Okay. Oh, God. Everyone's here. Everything's fine. Oh, dear. It's like herding cats. Anyway, good evening. Good evening, folks. It's been, as I said, it's been a hot minute, but we are here, and we're going to play some D&D because that is fun. I hope you all enjoy yourselves this evening. So before we begin proper, first of all, let's say a massive hello and welcome back to our guest star, to Jess. Good evening, Jess.
Hey.
Welcome back. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Actually, in some ways, having less of a party means we're going to have a more concentrated sort of focus on the party, and I hope a more concentrated sort of focus on Dox, who is somewhat of an enigma still. We don't know a lot about her, and maybe it's about time we pulled back the curtain a little bit. So perhaps tonight could be the night for that.
Maybe not. She might kill everybody. I don't know.
She might kill everyone. Many things could happen, or marvelous things could happen. She won't kill the party. Just trying my Jedi mind trick. I'm not sure if that worked. Anyway, so before we jump in with tonight's session, first of all, players, do you have any announcements, any shameless plugs to speak of? Nope. Okay, not a problem.
Shameless plug!
I was entirely prepared for this situation. So usually we would have a shameless plug for our good friend Bart, he would do the plug himself, for he is raising money for a very worthwhile cause for Macmillan Cancer Support, a fantastic charity, and he's raising the money on Just Giving, and he is doing this by going on some incredibly long walks, 2 very very long hikes. He would give a much better rundown of what he's up to, where and when, and the why, and the rest of it. So I will do my best in his stead. But you can find all the details on his Just Giving page, which we have a link to on our Twitch page. I believe it's the Giving tab. If you click on that tab, it will take you immediately to his Just Giving page, where you can donate directly. If that is, of course, if you are in a position to do so and would like to, please do so. It is a fantastic charity. For those of you who follow my personal social media, you'll know that Macmillan has been has been a charity that I've ended up using in the past, and they do a fantastic service. The work they do changes lives and makes a horrible experience just slightly easier, and when you're in that position, it makes all the difference. It really does. They do fantastic work. Could not recommend them highly enough. And it's fantastic that Bart is doing something to raise money for such a great cause. So as I said, if you are in a financial position to do so, please consider giving him a donation via his Just Giving page. So with that one out for the
shameless plug.
You can, of course, check out our merch store if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to get yourself some apparel that's all Manylands or D&D related, such as this pencil case that I have here, which is part of the Black and Golds collection. It's made of very. I don't know what material it is, but it's a very nice feel on the hands. Kind of a rough spun feel to it with a zipper and everything, and it's even got the Slice and Dice logo on the back. So if you want to get some merch in your life, that is one such collection, the Black and Golds for the discerning Dragonborn. There are plenty of other collections which you can check out today, all on our store, which is again, there is the link to that on our Twitch page. And outside of that, I think that I don't think there's much else that needs plugging to this time. It's all a bit. There's not a lot going on to report from my end, at least. But hopefully there'll be more in the next session. Anyway, for now, then, that's the end of Shameless Plug.
Shameless Plug.
And so I think, without any further ado, let's jump into the session. Tonight's session here in the Manylands campaign on Slice and Dice. And we are back. So Bart, who is sunnying it up in Italy at the moment, I mean, it might be work-related, but he's in Italy regardless, has just got in touch to say that his first walk will be a week Saturday, so not long to go at all, and his other one is at the end of July. So by the time of the next session, he'll have done the first of the walks, so I'll be interested to hear all about that upon his return. Anyway, pulling focus back into the session then, last time in the Manylands campaign, pull out my notes. The party, half the party, that being Dox, Malar, Neris, and Seth's familiar Rallum, the Raven, were interviewing, shall we say, Damon, the Red Mage. And Damon had some very useful information for the party, but this was accompanied by lots of jibes at Neris, which basically got under her skin and was just being a horrible person, really. Anyway, he had revealed that the Red Mages are after the artifacts of Ushtag, which they appear to be trying to assemble in order to resurrect the great red dragon of old, Ushtag himself. One of the artifacts that they were after was the one that Damon extracted from Neris. It was her blood, apparently, is the blood of Ushtag. And it would appear that the Moor throne and the dagger which the party found also are artifacts of Ushtag. And it appears that there are many more. He gave a location of a sort of nearby Red Mage hideout where there would be a map which would detail all the location of all of the artifacts. Each Red Mage hideout has one of these magical maps that reveals the location of these artifacts for them to locate. Unfortunately, the party in their last Red Mage hideout did not find the map room and so did not have this information to hand. He also notes that he may be killed for this information and so he does not give the information away lightly. But equally, he's incarcerated, and within an anti-magic field, so not a lot he can do in his current position. But the cairn, the hideout is believed to be beneath a cairn between Kurrisk and Herthir. Kurrisk being the next sort of town/city north of Herthir. With this information in hand, the team then go to warn the king to prepare for an attack by the Red Mages, for it seems inevitable at this point that they are going to make a move against the king, or at least against the palace, to try and get these artifacts. That seems to stand to reason at this point. They also inquire about the creature under the castle which provides the anti-magic field, to which the king revealed that those who supervise this creature and its sort of housing, I think was the term he used, are sort of sealed beneath the castle. The lair in which this thing dwells is in the catacombs below the palace, which can only be accessed by, aside from one main entrance which has been booby-trapped repeatedly, is by these sort of emergency escape tunnels out of the palace, which are currently sealed because they are all magical doors that allow entrance. So once the anti-magic field drops, those doors will then become unlocked or revealed and open, because the magic will sort of start up again on these particular doors. He also noted that the traps which have been in place, only a few creatures know of these traps and how to get around them, and not even the king knows this information. He's then convinced by Leobrin to barricade all but one of the exits, the emergency exits, leaving one to escape through, but that one that's been left will have more guards posted onto it, just in case. Should the Red Mages pull down the anti-magic field, presumably they would have to do so by getting to that creature below the palace, and therefore could get up into the palace via these emergency escape routes. So the rest of them have. So the king has now ordered his subjects to start barricading. His guard to start barricading, and to post more guards around all those entrances and exits. When the group leave the meeting with the king, Seth leaves his familiar, Rallum, in spider form this time, inside the palace, and instructs him to go to Damon's cell to keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, the rest of the party devise a plan to talk to Caladan Lambold, hoping to get another name off of the list of suspects behind the attempted assassination attempt against the king. They already have one, Pharrell Ragthorpe, crossed off the list, and now they're looking to obviously advance this, but at the same time want to do so with all expediency because of this potential Red Mage problem, as well as the problem with the Kobold Kingdom as well. There's a few ticking clocks going on right now, and the party are hastening to get on with their investigation and find out who could be behind all of these things that are going on. They also speculate about the king's brother-in-law, heir apparent now, the prince now of Rachir, who warned of Red Mages gathering in the dock sector, which is outside the city walls, and has been begging the king for a long time to send guards outside of the walls to investigate in the dock sector. And so the party have been ruminating on this as well, in-game and out of game, as it turns out. And as you guys are leaving the palace and have had some time to discuss in character what the next step is, that's where we're going to pick things up. So, guys, what are we doing?
We are heading to Caladan's casino to go speak to him first.
Going to head back to where you won so much wealth before. I'm sure he'll be very pleased to see you. Now, of course, the other thing that happened in the last session was that Caladan was due for a meeting with the king, but could not start his meeting until after the party had left, after giving all their information and so on, and discussing plans with the king. And so when you guys left, Caladan obviously went in and started his meeting with the king. So you would naturally arrive at the casino ahead of Caladan. So when you guys get there, are you planning to just kind of just I don't know, play some tables, play some dragon chess or something like that to keep you busy, or are you just going to sit and wait?
Oh, I feel like that's a very Brucon thing to wait by playing games, but I'm happy waiting.
Well, you are entirely correct, because no sooner have your feet crossed the threshold, but Brucon is gone, and he's already at one of the roulette tables, throwing down chips and seeing how well he does at that. Also checking out the card tables. He's in his elements, you know, and you know better than to interfere with him when he's in this mood. So he's out of the picture.
I'm gonna just turn to Madeline and like, should we leave him there while we're talking to Caladan? Maybe we should leave someone to supervise him, like Neris or Leo.
I don't mind looking out after him, says Brina, sticking a finger in the air.
We may need you for the zone of truth if we decide that asking politely doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Leobrin just kind of looks from Neris to the rest of you. Well, I certainly wouldn't mind. If things the right thing to do, it's my duty. Well, but I could perhaps be useful. My fey presence and whatnot. Neris is does not look amused, but that's kind of normal. Fine.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you watch Brucon. Make sure he doesn't start anything. If he does, finish it. And we'll see you guys soon.
I will try not to burn this place to the ground.
Don't try too hard.
Fine. And she heads off in the direction of Brucon. Leobrin looks slightly anxious at this and says, I could go supervise her if you would like.
Nope. You're going to be useful. You're going to enchant him, make him tell us the truth.
Okay. No problem.
DM.
Yes.
What form am I in currently?
So when you left the palace, you were still in your lizard folk form.
Yeah.
So it's Ibex. It's up to you
Yes.
whether you change back to Dragonborn or maintained lizard folk, or even change to something else.
No, I think she'll stick with lizard folk.
Cool.
At the moment.
Sounds good.
Also, one thing, if you're piloting Brina for today, I don't think she's used either of her portent roles.
Which were they both 16s?
I don't know what they are, but so if you want to roll them, because you may want to use them during, because they work for ability checks as well as attack rolls and stuff.
Yes. Sorry, when you said you're piloting, was that directed at me or was that at Jess?
You are you being Brina?
I can be Brina if you'd like me to be. I don't mind if one of you guys
her
wanted
abilities.
to. Sure. Well, in which case, I will. Yeah, let me roll portent for her. She may have already done this, but it's
as one
been
of
a
the
while,
only things that can change ability checks.
Okay, we've got a natural 1 and a 9.
Ah.
Write that down. So the 9 not particularly useful, but the 1 definitely useful.
It's when we piss her off and we do an insight check, and she's like, "Nope, you've pissed me off today. Have a 1."
Nope. Yes, that's exactly
You
right.
called me Sparkles. You can have a 1.
Oh, yes. Forgot about that. All right. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you sit tight, meanwhile, as you can hear the far-off sound of Brucon's... the roller coaster of emotions that Brucon is going through at the various tables that he's gambling at. But within maybe half an hour... No, sorry, more like an hour. It's a bit of a distance to the blue sector. You hear the arrival of Caladan. There is much fanfare. In fact, he appears to arrive on a sedan chair, which is hoisted by 8 kobolds carrying him out, and then he sort of departs that. He disembarks, sorry, that just outside the entrance to the casino, for he comes in his long flowing robes, his beer guts, a couple of seconds before the rest of him, appearing in the casino, and he immediately throws his arms wide, the real sort of showman feel to him, and chips sort of fly out from his hands. He does so. He goes, in Draconic, so Docs, you would understand. He says, "My people, I have returned. Welcome, enjoy the casino." And then his gaze pans round to you lot sitting in the waiting area, because there is a waiting area, a very plush waiting area where you guys have been sitting. Oh, look who it is. And he switches to common. A good evening, pit champions. To what do I owe this pleasure?
We were hoping we could get a moment of your time to discuss some matters involving the king.
Involving the king, you say? Well, yes, I did pass you after you had met with him. I was due for my meeting, so... Interesting. A very productive meeting, I hope. Very well. Let us go to my office. There was more of you before, though. Where is the... And looks round and sees... spots Brucon amongst the crowd, and Neris, obviously, who is sort of on nanny duty for Brucon, one of the tables.
Yes,
Never mind.
I believe they're helping your casino profits at the moment.
Well, we could do with the reinvestment after you bled me dry last time. Okay.
We're very sorry for living.
Yes. Hey, a bet is a bet. You won the bet, I had to honor that. I was just surprised that you won with... Anyway, never mind. Follow me. And he heads up up the stairs, draping along the banister as he does so. His long sort of wizard sleeve on his robes just kind of gliding over the banister as he makes his way up. It does appear that he doesn't appear to be the strongest of individuals for a Dragonborn. It does seem that he is kind of having to use the banister to kind of haul himself up a bit. It's like his great weight is a bit difficult to ascend the stairs with his legs alone. But within a few moments, he is at the top of the stairs and heading into his office, and I take it the 5 of you are following.
Yeah.
Alright, he leaves the door open, and he may enter. And he takes his place behind his oversized armchair behind his very grand, very large mahogany desk. So, you wanted a word in private, would you mind? And he kind of gestures towards the door. The open door, should I say.
Yeah, we'll politely close that.
And he then places his elbows onto the desk, leaning forward, steepling his fingers, and then leaning his great head on his fingers. So, where would you like to start?
So the king has tasked us with helping to find those behind the assassination plot behind himself that unfortunately claimed the lives of his wife and child.
Yes.
Some of the people on the most suspected list are some close associates of yours, and we were hoping you'd be able to give some insight into their character or the most likely suspects behind them.
the investigation that the enforcers were doing. This was a year ago when they were investigating. I'm surprised it has been revived. Well, I guess there is no harm in telling you what I told them then. I have no interest in the crown of Rachir. It carries far too much responsibility. Besides, I can become more powerful than the king through my own means, without any of that responsibility. Only responsibility for myself. And my clan, I guess. My personal estate.
You have no interest in the crown, but you have interest in money. And if somebody offered you enough, would you then not take it?
Who would have enough money to offer me to kill the king, if that is what you're insinuating?
Oh, I'm not saying that you killed him. I'm saying that you might have helped.
And he regards the lizard folk for a moment and kind of cocks his head to one side. You have a very strange accent for a lizard folk. You sound more like one of my own. Who are you?
I grew up in an orphanage with other dragonborns, and I learned.
Doc, you have to make a deception check, please.
Yeah. To be fair, I forgot entirely what accent lizard folks are meant to be having, so that was a
You didn't know
poor
because,
bit on me.
because I have never at any point made it clear if lizard folk have a particular accent. We've had one who I don't know if Doc's has come across, Forked Tongue, who had like an RP accent. So, you know, lizard folk I think perhaps are a bit more diverse than the Dragonborn, perhaps.
Deception, yes?
Yes, please.
19.
19. He kind of narrows his eyes a little bit. A lizard folk that has spent their life in their chair. A lucky lizard folk, no doubt. So you believe that I have the means and therefore I would assist somebody in trying to assassinate the king. Is that right, lizard folk?
Yes.
You have a name, do you not?
Ibex.
Ibex.
Have we heard her call herself Ibex?
Yes. In front of the king, in fact.
Okay.
I think there is a Dragonborn drink that sounds similar to Ibex. Perhaps we'll enjoy it sometime. As I said in the previous time I was questioned on this, yes, I'm a very wealthy Dragonborn. I would say that I'm the richest Dragonborn in the entirety of the kingdom. As I said, though, I have no motivation to want to get rid of the king, or those around him. He does his business and I do mine.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, go for it. Of course you can.
Oh, a 9 plus 0.
Oof. With a 9. He's just got a bit of he's got a way about him with his, with that sort of toothy grin and that kind of cocksure attitude. He comes across a little bit slimy. It's hard to tell whether, you can't get a good read on whether he's being genuine or not, because he always seems to address you guys in this fashion. He's not giving much away.
So, is it some of the other suspects are leading authorities in the Dragonborn community, such as yourself? Are there any of them that you believe would be most likely to have taken part in this?
I have my opinions, as anyone does, but I would be foolish to cast aspersions about powerful people in the Dragonborn Kingdom, especially with those who may not have the highest of opinion of me, as you folks may not do.
I say we're new in town, which is we don't have such prejudices against individuals we haven't met yet. So I believe that's why the king tasked us with this. You're all the council members. We have no hate or like to anyone individual. A very unbiased investigation.
That is quite wise of the king. Although incredibly paranoid, but, well, come to expect that after so much time has passed and after the other measures he has put in place since the assassination. For me, it speaks of the weakness of the King's Armdak. If he had been concentrating more on his borders than on what was going on in the capital of Rachir, then perhaps we would not have such a problem with the bureaucratic mining operation that we have been doing. If it was not for my Wyvern Riders, in fact, we would not have known about yourselves crossing our borders, or in fact of anyone else who tries to what's the word? Infiltrate into the kingdom.
Oh, now, what would you know about what's going on in the rest of your borders there, sir? Surely there's no envy there about the king doing what he wants with his lands? Or do you think you could maybe do something better with the throne or his command?
All I am saying, my friend, is that were it not for my Wyvern Riders, you would not have been brought here. Were it not for my Wyvern Riders, the monastery would have fallen to the manticores without any hope of reprieve or revival.
Well, now, sir, you may not be aware of, or you may not have partaken in any sort of plot to overthrow the king, but that does not mean you do not know of people who may have conspired against him. What say you?
I would say, Loxodon, that anyone who wanted to overthrow the king, or at least were to be mixed up in a plot to do so, must be very desperate indeed.
Insight check.
Go for it.
Finally, the guy with wisdom can do an insight check.
No,
Plus 0.
no.
You are a hope.
I've got 8. So.
Oh. 8 altogether?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, again, same as with Seth. He's a slimy, smooth operator. He's quite difficult to read. Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Would Docs know that Caladan supplied the wyverns, or is that not common knowledge?
Yes, Docs would know that the Wyvern Riders are almost exclusively in the blue sector. They have, if you like, an airfield in the blue sector with wyverns. Like their Wyvern Riders are sort of one of their proudest sort of militia that they offer. And yeah, like I say, they're very mobile, and you guys have come across them before. They seem to be a force to be reckoned with. You also know, Docs, how also that in terms of Blood Bowl, one of the games that's played, the most popular sport, in fact, in the city and in fact in Rachir, you know that the Blue Jets, which or Caladan's Commandos, as they're otherwise known, are top of the league and have been for a long time. They've got the best players. So you know the blue sector are kind of the jocks of the earth here, basically.
Okay.
Oh, good. I've got them in my Blood Bowl fantasy team. I'm glad they're doing well.
There we go. So they got a lot of good players. They're on an unbeaten run of about 8 games at this point, actually. Because I believe Docs had a short conversation with the barkeep of Bronze Allergy, and it was brought up. So these are callbacks. These are things that are happening. I'm not just making this up. Well, I did originally, but now it's a thing. So yes. So Docs, you know a bit more about the goings on with Caladan and so on. But yes, at this point, he goes to his drinks cabinet and oh no, James, your camera's fallen. But that's okay.
I've got it.
He picks up a bottle of. It looks like a clear liquid inside it, but it seems to have. It seems to have these little pellets floating in it, sort of blackish pellets. You can't really tell what it is exactly. And he kind of places it on the desk along with some glasses and says, "You like to join me in a drink?"
Oh, I don't partake, but I'm sure Mr. Sepp will indulge you.
It is nothing to be scared
Hang on.
of, elf. It is elves, and he kind of looks from Seth to Leobrin. Or even for you, my little friend, looking at Brina. It is a very good vintage of the Dragon Booker.
I'll join you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm only half paying attention. I was having camera things there. I heard alcohol.
worries.
So
Yes. He's
You're having
offering
a
you a
drink.
drink of Dragon Booker. Would anyone else like to partake in some Dragon Booker?
Dragon Booker.
No. Malar
Alright.
is a water kind of guy.
I'm not a fan for the aniseed flavor.
It is not for everyone. Brina also refuses. Leobrin, however, goes, yes, why not? A most generous offer from our host. Very politely, he also takes a drink. So, Seth, the three of you, Caladan offers up his glass in a toast-like fashion, and says, "To the glory of the king and country." Yes.
To the king and country.
Yeah. Chinks the glasses, and then he shots his Jack Booker. Leobrin looks at you, holding his, a little nervous.
I drink mine.
Okay, can you make a Constitution check, please?
Oh, that's not terrible. 14.
14. All right, Seth. It's got an aniseedy flavour, as Doc's noted, but in addition to that, it has a heat to it as well. It has a sort of an afterburn you feel on both sides of your throat, but you can contain yourself with it. It's like sorry, go ahead.
Like a poisony burn?
Not a poisony burn, no. Just like like if you necked a brandy, you'd feel that little bit of a burn, a little bit of heat afterwards. There's a bit of that, quite intense, but you seem okay with it. Caladan himself, you see, he winces a little bit and and starts patting his chest. It's good but strong, yes. Leobrin, meanwhile, has turned a very hot pink rather than his usual slightly fair complexion, and it doesn't look like he's enjoying his very much, and his cheeks puff out. Caladan slaps him on the back. Slaps him on the back. Yes, get it down, elf. It's good. Make you strong. Yes. Put hairs on that elven chest of yours, I'm sure. Anyway, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Well, I had, if you'll permit me, of this drinking festivity, you seem very sure of yourself. How far are you willing to commit to being innocent of involvement?
What would you like me to do? Swear a blood oath?
I would just like you to tell the truth, and I would like to cast Zone of Truth.
Alright, as you go to cast the spell, he waves his hand and counter spells.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on, still need to lose the slot for it.
His jovial appearance completely drops from as he does this. I do not appreciate people casting spells around me.
Oh,
That is your only warning.
This is just a simple little, just to make sure you're on the up and up, sir. There's nothing to be afraid of, unless, of course, you have something to hide?
And there is nothing
I wanna
for
try
you
and-
to be afraid of, unless you continue casting spells, in which case I will call my guards.
Malar looks at Seth. Asks to look at Seth.
I mean, we don't need to fight him. Oh, that hurts to say.
Malar looks back at the guy and looks over at Dox and is like, good day to you, sir. I'm done here.
Before you
Swishes
go,
out of the room.
Before you go, Master Loxodon, before you all leave my premises, I may have some information that may be useful to you, but I am reserved to give up such information to you when you have bled me dry once. If you give me the opportunity to perhaps win back some of what I lost to you before, a simple wager. If you win, you win. I will honor the bet. If you lose, then I will recoup some of my losses. And I will, of course, give you some of the information that could prove useful to your investigation. How about that?
What's the bet?
You may choose any team you like. You could even enter yourselves if you really wanted to. In a game of Blood Bowl against my team, the Blue Jets. And if your team wins, you win the wager. If your team loses, I win the wager.
Other
And
than
this
Dox, we know what this game, this sport is.
No, not you guys. You haven't. Not really. You would have heard it in passing. You don't know what it is. Nobody at any point has expressed an interest in knowing more about it. But Dox does know about this. Sorry,
So
I know,
what
that
I
Jess,
know
that
from-
Jess may not, but Dox does.
Yeah.
So
what
Dox,
I know
it's
from
kind of
Blood
it's-
Bowl is that
Yeah.
we throw heavy balls at each other till they bleed and die. That's what I've heard in the street. Yeah. Can we substitute daggers? I'm good at that.
No. Very funny. Somebody may have.
We'll
been
play
pulling your-
blood dagger.
Blood Bowl is a very rough sport. So out of character, it's kind of similar to like American football or rugby. There are some similarities to that, but you can pass the ball forwards like anywhere. So not like rugby in that sense, but you are trying to get the ball into the end zone to score points. And strength is important, but speed is probably more so. Monks, for instance, would be a very good class to play at Blood Bowl. But yes, it can be quite physical. No weapons are allowed as such, but they can beat on each other, and various grappling.
What about magic?
Scrapping. Yeah. As far as Dox knows, magic is forbidden, but there are certain buffs that are allowed to be enchanted on the players sort of pre-half before going on the pitch, but no magic is allowed to be cast on the pitch. There are rumours that some cheat and use spells like covertly, or that magic items can be smuggled on sometimes, that kind of thing. These are just rumours, though. That has not been proven.
I mean, Malar would say no because he doesn't know what he's signing up for.
Yeah, I'm afraid that we're unfamiliar with this sport, and we'll due back at the palace to report to the king on our suspicions. So we'll be more than happy to inform him of your compliance with the investigation.
Very well. Lizard folk, ibex, I believe. Maybe you could fill them in on this sport. I believe there is another game later on tonight, in fact. Give them the rundown. Oh, and if what I'm assuming is you are interviewing the same people as a year ago, you should know that it is in 2 days' time that Dudra Denish casts out on a maiden voyage on their new pleasure vessel. So you should probably get to them before that date, or in fact, get yourselves tickets, get on board, enjoy yourself.
Thank you for your assistance. You were, not helpful, but you were something. We'll see you again soon.
I certainly leave an impression. As do you.
We leave.
Okay. Alrighty then. So as you head downstairs, you at this point you kind of have lost sight of Brucon and Neris, but you can hear Brucon occasionally, either swearing in Dwarvish or in joy, or sometimes in anger and frustration and sorrow. There's a range of emotions, so you know that they're still around somewhere. So what do you guys? Now you've exited that meeting. What's the plan?
Let's round up Brucon and Neris. Let's head down to the piers to speak to the brother-in-law.
Alrighty.
Oh, now, Ms. Ibex, Ella says, looking around. Oh, you seemed reticent to attend the docks. Why was that?
At the time, I just didn't think there was a necessity for it.
Oh, and you're comfortable going there now?
Yes, as long as we're going to the ship, where we're going, where it's going to be beneficial.
Okay, Mr. Seth, lead the way. Actually, Mr. Seth, we should strategize.
It seems to me, Brucon puts his hand behind his back and waggles his finger as he joins in the conversation. We may be overlooking something here, because yes, although I appreciate that we have been told that the brother-in-law has been saying about red mages in the dock sector. Am I wrong in? Were we not told that by the enforcers that the brother-in-law actually resides in the gold sector, and so we're more likely to find him there? No.
I thought he was down at the docks. So...
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah.
I believe they had said that he had been encouraging guards to investigate the docks because there were red mages there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he is in the docks, especially being the heir apparent to the kingdom. Do you think he would risk his life if there are red mages in the dock sector by going there himself? That seems, well, frankly,
to the gold
ridiculous.
sector.
To the gold sector. Actually, before we go, let me just check on Rallum, and I'm going to share my senses with him and see if he has made his way to Damon's cell.
Okay. You check in on Rallum.
What does Seth look like when he does this thing where he looks through? Like, do his eyes roll back? Do they cloud over?
Yeah, when he walks.
Yeah, he does. Okay. He walks, so his eyes roll back, and you can see the whites of his eyes rather than the now red irises that he has. So it's kind of it's not it's just as disturbing as normally now. But yes, your eyes roll back.
Before you get into the description, like Malar sees Seth do this, and like as a waitress goes by, grabs like an empty and like a tankard or something, and just balances on the top of Seth's head the glass and just fills it up with the tankard, just right up to the top, and then just puts the tankard down and just stands back, just like wait.
Seth, you can. Although you're blind and deaf, you can feel a glass being placed on your head.
Damn.
As he does that, you can still hear me because I'm just talking through my familiar and seeing through him. I'm going to say, Mala, I'm going to let this one slide, but please take this off my head.
Well, now you probably wouldn't know it was Malar, but I will. Perhaps you could assume, given your history. But yeah, you can certainly say that. When you look through Rallam's eyes, he appears to be in transit on the way down to the cells. It doesn't look like he's got there yet. Obviously, in spider form, he's quite small. It takes quite a while.
If he's going down, is he close? Almost there?
Yeah, he's not far away. He's got a few. He's just descending the last staircase.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to the party, and I'm gonna say, he's nearly there. Can we find somewhere that doesn't involve me walking around blind and deaf for a minute, just to sit down while I have a conversation?
Oh well, the gold sector may have. Or we could stay in the casino. I could. Yes. No.
Yeah.
Let's
Just let's sit down for a minute in private somewhere.
Excellent. And he just
the conversation
off.
You can still hear it.
He disappears off to another casino table. He's like, I'm gone, guys.
And also, I asked Brina, do you know any drow names? Like a common drow name?
I don't know. We never really, as far as I know, we didn't. I never engaged with a drow and were on first name terms with them. We, as far as I'm aware, we've just avoided them. Sorry.
Okay. But I'm going to pretend to be a drow working with the Kobold Kingdom. I just look to see if I had a real. I won't give him a name.
Okay. Seth, guys, and Leo looks a little bit concerned. Seth, I think it's happening again. And he's like looking around above him.
Oh, this is the sensor.
Yeah. Shit. I'm just gonna cast message to Leo and just be like, tell us when you think it's gone, because I can't see it anymore.
Okay. Will do. So while you guys are waiting for Rallam to make his move, Docs, can you make a charisma check for me, please?
Oof. Check or
Just a check, yes.
6.
With a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your nose starts to bleed, and you take 8 points of psychic damage as a as a vision. Suddenly, your eyes kind of roll back into your head, and you are visited by a familiar face, that of Etherel, your patron.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon the interruption, my dear, but I have noticed that I've noticed somebody in your presence, somebody who could be very useful to both of us.
To both of us or to you?
To me mostly, but what's useful to me is useful to you. I give you your powers, do I not? And if I am given more powers, I can impart more to you, especially as a most loyal and useful subject, as you are.
Oh, ever so loyal, ever so loyal.
Oh, yes. You wanted help with your investigation. I could grant you more help, were you to help me in bringing this Leoberin to me.
What do you know?
I know many things. You have to be more specific.
What do you know about the investigation? What do you know about the assassination?
I personally don't know anything, but I can of course grant you more powers that could be useful in your investigation.
Fine. When do you want him?
The sooner the better. I'd like to see him for myself before I summon my sisters.
I'll get him to you as soon as I can.
Very good. Sorry for the migraine. And she disappears. And you are left with a stinging headache.
Yeah. That was 6 points of damage, she said, yeah?
8 points of psychic damage. Yeah.
8? Okay, I'll drop another 2 then.
And I was saying
you okay?
until
You started
you.
bleeding.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Are you okay? You just started bleeding.
I'm fine. I need to go outside for a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, she's gonna walk out the casino.
Okay. And so you see some of these street performing wizardly types out there, still trying to impress with their various displays of colours and so on. And yes, try and sort of gather your thoughts back together. Can you make a charisma save, please?
Yes. Because that's a whole lot better. It's 19.
19. Okay. You managed to stave off the worst of the effects of the migraine. So you don't suffer any exhaustion, and otherwise you would have suffered some exhaustion if you had failed. So you're sweating. You're sweating, but you've got a bit of a headache, but you're okay.
Okay. She's gonna drop into one of the nearest alleyways and transform back into her dragonborn self.
Yep. Okay.
And just wait for the guys to come back out.
Okay. So, a bit of time passes, maybe another 10 minutes or so, before Seth, with you keeping an eye on Rallum, you see that he finally has found his way to Damon's cell. He's currently outside and on the wall and looking in through the iron bars. He hasn't gone into the cell yet, but he's awaiting your command.
Are we in a private area? Like, people aren't gonna overhear our conversation?
No, you are very open. You're in the waiting area of the casino. There are private booths, but you'd have to hire them.
That's fine. Well, I'll quickly hire a private booth.
Okay. 1 Jade Dragon. That will hire you a booth.
Perfect. Leo, since you're
Yes.
and I'll whisper a little bit, like, your friend is watching.
Yes.
Why don't you stand outside so that they're not privy to our conversation?
Yes, I could go keep an eye on Ibex. Yes. And
Yeah, go see if she's okay.
he goes to head outside. And he's
Malor,
going to be looking around outside because he can't find dogs.
Malor will turn to Seth and, Mr. Seth, do you need assistance with what you're about to undertake, or have is your friend, is he providing enough assistance as it is?
Well, I'm going to be lying to Damon about us being associated, or the person on the other end of the spider being associated with the Kobold Kingdom, to try and make a fake alliance to get some information of where the Red Mages are, to see if the information he gave to Neris was true. So, anything that can help me with lying.
Malor takes a moment to weigh up the implication and the morality and the ethics of, is it a bad thing if you do a bad thing for good reasons, or is it just a bad thing for, that sort of, and then he turns around and says...
he had a Brook on there to help him.
Yeah. Yeah, the balance and all that. Malor will then turn to nice to know that you still need the gods for something, and I just slap him on the chest. Take enhance ability, and I'm going to give you Eagle's Splendor, so advantage on charisma checks.
Nice.
Excellent. Very good call.
Ooh, very useful.
And that does last an hour, so if we quick, we might be able to.
Fantastic. Cool. I'll get started then. If we're in the private booth, I'm going to go look through Random and speak through him. And I'm going to have him back away so he's at least 5 feet away from the bars or so that he can't be squished by an errant hand or foot through the bar. And so can I see Damon in this cell?
Yes.
What is that?
Or certainly,
As
a
we grow
cowled
along.
figure that resembles Damon. Obviously, you can't see his face currently.
Damon, how are you?
Kind of lifts up his cowl. I recognise that voice. What do you want?
Oh, really?
You have
I was
spoken
trying
to
to do a
Damon
deep voice.
before. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, James. Sorry. In which case, sorry. Let me redact that.
I'm not sure it came through too well on the thing.
Make a performance check, please.
So I wasn't sure it came through too well on the thing because I'm trying not to be too loud.
Yeah, so we'll say performance for see how good Seth's accent is. And after that, with what you're saying, there may be deception checks later. We'll see.
Oh God, thank you for the advantage. That was very useful.
Yeah.
Performance 19, as opposed to the 5 it was gonna be.
Okay, so I retract my previous statement as Deep Throat appears to be talking to Damon.
Sorry, I'm
Damon,
trying not to be too loud in general.
Sorry, it's okay. Okay, but we'll get you're putting on a voice to disguise your own voice. That's so he looks up towards the bars. Hello, yes, that is my name. What do you want?
It's a shame to see one of the powerful little red mages caught up in the little spider's web.
Oh, you must be somebody disguised as a spider. Intriguing how you can do that, considering the anti-magic field up here.
We all have our uses.
Little?
Okay.
You said I was a little red mage? And who are you, oh grand spider that doesn't show themselves?
Someone that's not been beaten by children the last time they fought them.
Big talk for somebody who's hiding in the shadows. Show yourself. Unless you are afraid.
Rallam's going to step forward slightly so he is still away from the bar but visible.
In spider form still?
Spider form still.
So he's going to have to so he's on the wall as a little spider. He'd have to like scuttle and climb up into the bars if he was to be seen closer up. Oh, unless he fired some web across, I guess.
I think I've got a different conception of how small he is. I was picturing him like, tarantula sized.
Yeah, tarantula. Okay, sorry. He could climb across the ceiling and then descend down on some webbing, couldn't he, to make him kind of closer? Yeah, so we'll see he can do that. That makes sense.
I just wanted to stay out of swatting range.
Yeah, it makes sense. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. All right.
I am an individual that has been joined forces with the Kobold Kingdom for their quest, as they put it, to free the creature below the castle.
Make a deception check, please.
Yeah. Deception check. That is. What's my deception? 25.
25. He slowly he kind of stoops down a bit and before rising up from his seat and comes closer to the bars. The Kobold Kingdom, you say? You seem rather eloquent for somebody supposedly from the underground kingdom that I've heard a little about.
We were hired by them. The Kobold Kingdom. They're filthy little pickpockets. It's their leader that we have interest in. but
Go
I've
on.
heard that our goals align. You want this little magic dome down so that you can get your dragon toothpick, and we want the creature creating the force field.
I'm afraid, friend, the only reason I would want the field down was so that I could escape from this place. But my brethren, yes, they would indeed want the magic toothpick, as you say. They may want me as well, but...
Are you no longer with the Red Mages?
But I mean, of course I am. I'm still wearing their robes, am I not?
Can I insight check?
Yes.
Ah, 2.
He seems entirely honest. Everything seems above board.
Yeah, he's above board. He's definitely still part of the Red Mages.
I mean, he's not that he's a charisma-based spellcaster or anything who's quite good at deception. Nothing like that at all. He's totally on the level. No, of course I'm... yes, my kind of... yes.
We're looking to make contact. The Kobold Kingdom, they have their numbers, but their soldiers aren't... well, they're not soldiers. We're looking to make contact with your Red Mages, an alliance, if you will. We take the bubble down, you gain your freedom, they gain their dragon bone, we gain the creature. A win for everyone.
You see, as you're saying this, that Damon's right hand seems to curl around something that he seems to be trying to conceal from you in his hand, but it does definitely move. It looks like something big enough to sort of, fit into, maybe not quite fit into the palm of his hand. It's quite big, whatever it is, but it's not like a dagger or anything like that. Anyway, he continues to speak in a measured tone. I see. Well, unfortunately, I'm rather out of the loop with where my brethren currently reside. Have you tried a certain cairn, a hideout, between here and Kurrisk, I think it is? I believe there's a hideout there. But without a map to hand and without any further contact, I'm afraid that is all the information I have currently.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep looking at my skills like it's going to change from a +0. 12.
Again, he seems to be being honest. Doesn't appear to be any falsehood in what he's saying that you can tell.
We have
With
heard
that,
of them being there.
he then, his hand lightning fast comes up and he throws a rock towards the spider. However, it hits the bars and clatters to the ground. Sorry.
That's not a friendly approach. I'm going to have the spider change back into imp form and fly to the other side of the bars.
Huh.
A good, small distance away.
I thought as much. Just testing a theory, friend. Nothing more than that.
So, Damon of the Red Mages captured and has information of where they may be.
Yes. I have been incarcerated for some time.
This has been less useful than what your reputation proceeded to be.
Oh, my reputation. Oh, you do flatter me so. Have you been speaking to the pit champions by any chance? They have fond memories of me.
We have no interest in children that got in your way once.
Children? Be careful not to underestimate them.
They hold no threat to us. They're just more pawns of this kingdom that will be in our way.
I see. Well, good luck, friend. Perhaps our next
So we
meeting
have
will be
heard
more
that you-
eventful.
We have heard that you had more interest in one of them in particular. Maybe you'd like us to leave them alive for you.
Can you make another deception check for me at this point? Because things are getting a little suspicious, a little sus.
God bless advantage. God
Well,
bless.
the gods have
Advantage.
blessed you with the advantage.
Ah, shit. Don't tell Malar I said that. 21.
21. Okay. Perhaps that would be generous, unless they serve your means, of course.
Well, Damon, scourge of some tavern, loot, faller of children, you have proved your reputation of not very impressive and very unuseful. And
Well, I
with
would
that,
say I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm not sorry. I'm not in the habit of negotiating with disembodied voices, talking through their familiars, so...
And with that, I pull Rallum back.
As in you dismiss him?
So
or...
bonus action to dismiss him, yeah.
Right, yeah. Just
And-
before he disappears, you hear Damon have a little chuckle. Just
And I come back to conversation. I'm like, well, that was much less useful. It was very fun taunting Damon, but very unuseful for any new information. He gave the same location that he gave to the others.
It was worth a try, though, Seth. I like the ingenuity of it.
It was really fun pissing him off. He seems less threatening when magicless and in a cell, so that was very, very fun.
And if I had my way, I would have killed him in that cell. But Malar said no.
Oh,
Yeah.
now, Miss Neris, I'm trying to save your immortal soul and nothing else.
But come on, just one little
He
finger.
didn't seem too interested in keeping you alive. I thought that you would have been more vital to the plan. They would have wanted to keep you alive, but
What?
he didn't take the bait of asking you to be safe or delivered to them. So I'm
Well-
not sure what his plan is.
Well, when we were speaking to him before, he had no... he relished, in fact, telling me that they already had what they needed from me. They had some of my blood. So...
Hmm.
And that's
Well,
all he'll ever
hopefully-
take from me. He looks out into the middle distance with a smolder.
Aren't we in a private booth?
Yes. But she's looking in the middle distance anyway, or where the middle distance would be. She's looking at it. Got that far off expression. Like Jumanji
It was
style.
very
Is that a
fun
smolder?
taunting him that his own. It was fun taunting him that his only achievements was burned down a tavern and then lost to us.
I mean, when you put it like that, he's not very high and mighty, is he? Despite the fact he nearly killed Leo by caving in and whatever, but yeah.
But isn't Leo easy to kill?
Yeah,
that
he
was
is.
that was the second of 4 feelings that have nearly killed him.
Gravity,
There are
you
many
win
things.
again.
Damn it, Gravity. You thwarted me for the last time.
Are we as Malar? Have you done playing games now?
I'm done taunting the bad guy.
Okay.
Sorry, Leo's not there. Never mind. But Brina said, "Shall I go get Brucon and then we can?"
Yeah.
Miss Brina, why don't you let Mr. Brucon know that we'll be on our way to the gold sector and let him catch up in a few minutes.
Okay, Malar, and she winks overtly at Malar.
Malar winks overtly back.
I'll make sure that he gets back to you in one piece. And she toddles off, going to find him.
I'm
So
not
that just
going
leaves
to ask.
Seth, Malar, and Neris currently in the booth. You've got Docs
Let's go
outside
find
somewhere, along with
Docs.
Leo.
Let's
Well, let's go find Docs and Leo, and I'm going to
Yeah.
resummon Rallum and have him go into
In what form?
crow form, and have him be invisible and flying above us. Little aerial advantage.
So you
While-
summon him in the booth, and he appears before Malar and
Yeah.
Yes, master.
while we're as we're in transit, I presume we're going to pick up Thingy and Doodar outside. But as we are in transit, do we want to just how are we going to do this when we find? Number one, do we know the name of the guy we're after? Number two, do we know where he is? Number three, hey, Seth, how do you want to do this?
He's in the gold sector. His name is King's brother-in-law, and we tell him we want to talk to him.
I mean, Brucon had the list, I believe, with all of the names on. But when he catches up with you with Brina, he could share that with you.
I believe my name was very accurate.
I
but
believe
then
the chap
also-
you're looking for is his name is Oryxtoon. I guess he would go by Prince Oryxtoon. What's his first name? Is somewhere...
Didrect. Or Didrect?
Bidrect, yes. Bidrect, yes. Spot on, yes. Full marks, top of the class.
Did Leo find the Docs? Because she said she was in a Dragonborn form.
No, he didn't find Docs. Docs found him, in fact. I think would be how that would have gone. Leo would have been hopelessly
Are you a
looking
lizard
outside
folk
for
again?
a good amount of time.
No. She's back in her dragon form.
Have we seen you in Dragonborn form?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Just checking. I can't remember.
I struggled for a second. I was like, have you? Yes. Yes. Yes.
I didn't want us to just brush past, and we sort of like 10 minutes later, we're like, is she a different race now? Like, does no one notice that we've just got a different person with us?
You're
We're
making
just not
friends.
questioning this. We're just not questioning it. We have a follower now. We're famous, it's cool.
Hi, can I have an autograph, please? Please.
Let's head to the gold sector.
Heading to the gold sector.
And
Go on, Jeff.
above table. Who was it who wanted to go to the docks, and who was it who's leaving via ship in like 2 days?
Doodra Denish is
2
leaving
days.
in 2 days.
yeah, and that was the party that's going to have everyone there. She tried to get us to go to it, but
Are they?
we
present?
didn't. Yeah, I think it was it was like far too expensive for us, and we were like, we don't know if we'll be in town, so we can go to the party if we can't find the other suspects. But I think all of our suspects will be in one place for that. But you can't really question people as easily as the party.
Although it is a party at sea, so they are kind of captive in that sense.
And also the fact that Doodra Jenish, she's the one that we've cut off the list.
No, it's Pharrell Ragfrock who you've cut off the list.
Sorry.
That's okay. Doodra Denish was the fashionista type who uses they, them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was Leo who had the dream about the cave, wasn't it?
That's right, yes. The cave with the elven maid.
Mm-hmm. Because I vaguely remember these things, but actually never wrote notes, and I'm actually having to write them down now.
The
Okay.
elven maid named Etherel. So Jess, Docs. Well,
Yeah.
not Docs, but Jess would know
Yes.
this. This is meta knowledge.
Yeah. No, that one I know. That is in my notes. Okay. All right. We can get back onto the board now.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry.
No problem at all. So getting over to the gold sector is simple enough. Just meandering over there. You don't have to encounter too many issues on the way, other than your adoring public. And there are many fans of the pit champions. I mean, they ignore Docs altogether and just assume that she's part of the entourage. But the rest of you, like looking for, as we said before, autographs, bits of your clothing, so they can frame them, put them on walls, just really making a song and dance about you. They bring babies for you to kiss,
I keep directing every like dirty child towards Leo.
Excellent, true to form. Leo Bryn has
friend of the children.
Leo Bryn, it's like, Seth, Mr. Seth, please, I'll catch you up. And he kind of calls over to you as he's held back by several children and young mothers with their babies, offering them over to Leo Bryn. And he's like very awkwardly trying to, there now. Hello, Leo Bryn.
As we're walking away, I'm just yelling out and pointing towards him. And there you have him, Leo Bryn, the pit champion, friend to all. Give him a hug, give him a hello, and we keep walking away.
Neris sort of stops and says, "I'll make sure nothing falls on him," and then goes over to keep him company while the rest of you continue.
I'll tell Rallum to keep airborne above them, to keep an eye on them, to make sure that no one kidnaps them while we're gone.
Yes, master. Yes. Whatever you say, master.
Again.
That's over. The rest of you, hit the gold sector. Very affluent area. There's far too much money in the gold sector compared to the other sectors. It's obscene, the amount of wealth on display. That being said, there are not many people though. Not many people around. However, there does look to be some sort of information point there, like a tourist centre, if you like, which has the draconic I above it, the draconic alphabet letter I, which Docs would point you to as an information point. And there's one very helpful looking dragonborn behind the counter there. Yes, how can I help you?
We have an appointment to see Onyx Rock. What's his name?
Drake's Oryx June.
Onyx Jin.
Close enough.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm afraid we don't deal with appointments here. If you are new here, then maybe you don't know. Yes, you would find him at his manor, just in the eastern part of the sector. Sorry, the very large, audacious building, the largest of the ones in the sector. You won't be able to miss it.
Thank you. I'm going to turn to Doc. Do you know where that is, or do we need a map?
I know where it is.
Well, Docs knows where it is.
Perfect. I'm going to thank Information Man and be like, lead the way then, Miss Docs. Oh, God, I'm speaking like Mala.
Now, Mr. Seth, I've been thinking about this, and it may well be prudent to let me do some of the talking, and if you want to do your mind voodoo that I do not approve of, then when that is in play, merely stroke your ear.
Okay.
I will.
I
will not mention the king until you are ready to. You've done that, and then I will drop the bomb, as it were. I have no reasonable concept of what a bomb may be or why one would drop one. There you go.
I see no flaws in this plan at all.
I'll drop the fireball. There we go. That works.
There we go. Drop the flaming wyvern dung.
Excellent.
Excellent, Mr. Seth. Remember, just keeping my eyesight in my eye line, and stroke your ear when you're, excellent.
Got it. Stroke your ear when I'm ready. Got it.
Oh, and everybody else, Miss Knox, and when the others turn up, just follow my lead. Just follow my. And at this point, Malar takes his backpack off. No, actually, he's going to wait until we're like we find the mansion. Before he does anything else.
Okay. Brina goes over to Dox and like tugs at her sleeve so that she's beckoning you to come down to her height so she can whisper in your ear.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure if you were consenting to that.
Okay. It would be like looking down, like, yes. What do you want, small one?
I think it's cute. Like these two, points at Seth and Mara. They seem to be rubbing off on each other.
Yes, I'm sure they'll be mating very soon.
No, what? No. Well, oh my god, have some inspiration. What the hell?
That's not inspiring. Shut up.
Oh, but that left me completely speechless. But I think it was also entirely in keeping with the character. So let's do it. Well, maybe, yeah. But no, I was just referring to that they are very different, but I think they are learning from each other. And you know what? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and I think these two are exemplars of that. Probably keep that to yourself, though. That's why I told you and not Brucon, because Brucon tells everyone everything.
That gossipy bitch.
That is good to know. Whilst Dox would have been will be like leading them towards the mansion, she'd have taken them through like a tiny little quick alleyway where she'd have changed into her lizard folk and then back out into the main street.
In the blink of an eye, switches to
quick.
lizard folk.
Mm-hmm.
Really quick. How did you do that?
It must be magic of some kind, but I didn't see the effect. I didn't see the spark.
It's something I've been able to do for a long time.
Impressive.
Yeah. Yes, I have to say that's a most useful trick. Yes, I'm sure they'll become most useful in our next encounters. And Brucon waffles as you continue.
Yeah.
No, see, there was one time.
I'm pretty.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm pretty good at changing shape too. These guys still think I'm a half mer elf.
Oh, well, that's fine. I feel like they logged it on without mind either way.
Malar is pointedly ignoring that.
Oh, fall for my bait.
Fortunately, Neris and Leobrin catch up with you guys as you get to that alleyway bit, because otherwise you would lose them at that point if they didn't see you going down there. So they rejoin you as well. And you, before long, you are Dox brings you to outside of the mansion. So the mansion has its own fenced off grounds, nice sort of courtyard, and the building itself kind of forms a U shape. So you have the two sort of wings either side of the courtyard, and then the sort of main entrance at the apex of the U. And it culminates at this apex, at this center point, is where you have the very large, again, conical shaped greystone tower that is, as you've seen many times before, is very typical of the architecture here in Richir, kind of like large teeth pointing towards the sky. So this is very similar in that respect. It just has wings coming out of it. The gates themselves to the mansion, to the estate, are closed, and there are guards posted outside. In fact, you recognise by their attire that these are in fact royal guards that you would normally find in the palace, rather than out in the streets of of the city. state your
Malor.
business, says one.
We are here to discuss a matter of great import with one Bidrex. Hang on, where is it? Bidrex Onyx June. If you may, we are the champions, and we have we are undertaking an errand for the king.
Do you have appointment?
Oh well, in as much as we all have an appointment with each other in a matter of being and existing as one another as entities such as ourselves do. In that term, yes.
As you start this, as soon as you say we are in a manner, as soon as you start on this spiel, the Dragonborn indignantly turns around, faces the side of the gate that he is at. He faces something on the wall there and starts speaking in Draconic into something there, which Dox you would understand. He's as would Neris, that he's saying. And the pit champions are here. They do not have an appointment. Is the prince available to meet with them? After a few moments, a voice speaks back, and they turn around. Sorry, the prince is fully booked for today and is not taking any more appointments today, but you can try first thing in the morning.
Is that what the guards turned around and said to the group?
That's what the guard has said to the group, yes.
Okay.
We didn't plan for this.
In fairness, it is evening now, so the light is fading. It's getting towards dusk.
Oh, but this won't take a minute.
Could you tell him we have some information regarding the red mages he's been hunting?
Make a persuasion check. I will allow because I would. You have. I think you still have the advantage from the spell. I think that would still be running. It's an hour, right? I was going to give you advantage. I was going to give you advantage from Malar assisting you anyway, but
What am I saying? You say persuasion.
Persuasion, yes.
Cool. That is 11.
The guard shifts uncomfortably, looks towards the other one who shrugs, and then he speaks back. He turns around and speaks into the thing again in Draconic. So, relays what you've said in Draconic. After a moment, the voice speaks back. Sorry, no, but he hasn't. He is available in the morning. You can meet with him then. He recommends you could stay locally if you are not although we understand you are guests of the king and are staying in the palace, perhaps.
Malar at this point sort of throws his arms up in the air theatrically. Oh, now, and he sort of he moves in a way that draws hopefully both of their attention to Malar and puts Seth out of their eye line. And now, see here, don't you understand that this is most important? We're on, and starts to just lots of noise and lots of arm flailing. Have I got their attention on me, and is Seth out of their view?
So, I would say for this, Malar, make a performance check.
I feel like he know what he wants me to do, but I don't want to.
Well, you don't know. Well, I guess we're going to find out. Persuasion.
Performance.
Performance. That's worse.
Sorry.
Okay. 15. All in. 15.
Okay. Seth, you have an advantage on the stealth check because Malar is distracted.
Yeah, Malar makes the that sort of hand gesture, go do your thing.
If I cast a spell, would it be loud? Would they hear me casting the spell and such?
Yes, depending on the spell. If it's got a verbal component, then obviously they'll hear it, but you could get the drop.
Okay, well then I want I want to start stealthing away, and then I would like to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, you can do that.
So I need to make a stealth check to start with.
Sure. So you have advantage on that stealth check.
29.
Okay. Yeah, you melt into the shadows, turn yourself invisible. Okay. Yes, you are now invisible.
Cool. Yep, breaking into the king's brother's house. Yeah.
Before this goes
myself.
any further,
This
I'd like
great.
to know, Docs, what's seeing, because you know that Malar is playing distraction, and you know what you know and you are aware that Seth is slinking off into the shadows. What do you want to do while this is going on? Because you've got some tricks up your sleeve too.
I would probably be playing along as like, you know, the tour guide of the city type thing, and just be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Master." Oh my god, I've forgotten his name.
Malar.
Oh my gosh, Malar. Master Malar, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience and all the. They're not normally like this. They're normally quite hospitable in this territory with in the Gold District. They're normally most welcome.
Oh, well, I'm not experiencing that at the moment, miss. Now, who is your supervisor? And he turns back to the guards.
All right. They'd like look from one to the other. Would be the General Funch.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I know exactly where he is. You know, as your tour guide to the city, I could take you to him right now if you want to speak to him.
You would obviously know that General Funch is a she, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, she.
Yeah, you would know that though, so I'm not going to say that that's a slip of the tongue. So.
I think we're still vamping out the front of this. I guess.
You're sort of
Mal
Seth.
will be like,
Seth, what are you doing?
Well, apparently I'm breaking in, so I'm going to
give me that. Don't give me that. Apparently I'm breaking in. You're the fucking rogue. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, apparently I'm bad now.
Whoa. Hey, guys. I'm not. Let's not be classist, okay? If there's one thing I can't stand in D&D, it's people getting classes like you, rogue. Pick the lock. Like, give me my real name at least. Jeez. But it's a fair point. You are good at breaking into things, and you are invisible. So, what do you want to do?
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to. Are we in the grounds? Like, is there like a walled fence going around the property? I assume.
Yes.
Can I climb over to get in?
So there are spikes on the fence, but with you reckon it's climbable, and you reckon you're nimble enough to avoid any permanent damage.
Cool, great.
You can, if you'd like to, scrabble over the wall just as is. The wall is about sort of about maybe 12 feet high with the prongs. With a suitable acrobatics check, you reckon you could climb over it. However, if you wanted to use rope or anything like that to aid you, that would obviously help.
Would the rope be invisible? I don't know how that fully works with
I
rope
think
being away from me.
I think while you're holding the rope, it's invisible. But I think once you let go of it, it's no longer on your person, and therefore, or on your hands.
I'm going to telepathically tell Rallum to with him being invisible, take an end of the rope and tie it to the top of the wall.
Okay, so I like this plan. The slight problem is that whilst Rallum is invisible, he can't see other invisible things, so he's not going to be able to see your invisible rope.
I'll put through my senses and direct him to where I am, because I know where I am.
Okay.
Well, that's
all right.
very meta.
I love it.
So I'll tell him to land, and then I'll pick him up.
Okay, you pick. Okay, this is fun. Seth, can you make a wisdom check, please? Just a straight wisdom check.
+0. Oh, 12.
12. You manage to hit Rallum in the face when you're trying to pick him up. Fortunately, you don't do any damage, so he doesn't just suddenly disappear into a puff of pocket dimension. But yeah, it's quite awkward. But you do have, you kind of hear, Master, why are you hurting me, Master? And then you're like,
sorry,
I'm sorry, Master. I'm sorry if I disappointed you, Master. And then
turn visible for a second, and I'm going to give him the rope.
Yes, Master.
And now, okay, in imp form, go fly at the top, tie this up so I can climb over easier.
Yes, Master. Should I turn invisible again, Master?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. And he grabs the rope and then turns invisible again and flies on over. Yeah. He ties the rope off to something, and you feel it go taut in your hand.
Cool. I'm going to climb up, climb over, and then make my way into the house. I have an hour of invisibility.
Okay. Seth, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Fine. 25.
25. Okay. So as you use the rope to try and, sort of anchor yourself and then haul yourself up the wall, you feel the rope give in your hand straight away. You manage to jump back onto the ground on your feet without taking any damage, but you hear a slam with what sounds like a barrel, an empty barrel of some kind, slams against the wall and breaks.
Which side of the wall am I on? Am I on
You're on the
public
outside.
side or private side?
You're on the public side still, but you hear on the private side a barrel scrape along the floor and smash against the wall and break. And the rope is now no longer taut, it's slack.
Cool. I'm going to look through Rallam's eyes and have him look down to see what that was.
Sorry, Master. I must have tied it to an empty casket. It didn't support your weight, Master.
That's fine. Let's move further down the wall, and we move further down the wall, and we try again.
Rallam also observes there are a couple of guards inside who have moved over towards this barrel. Like, what's going on here? What is this? Intricate.
Fine.
But...
Good distraction. We go to where those guards came from, where there will be no guards, and we try again. Hop over the wall to get into the manor.
Okay. The same thing happens, but this time it's not a barrel. It looks like a bit of fencing that was just not very strong, like some wooden sort of railings, and it's just been pulled off and just slammed against the wall. Sorry, Master. Is there something better I could tie it to?
Aren't there spikes on the top of the wall that he could tie it to?
Yes, I didn't think of that. Okay, Master. I'll try it one more time. And you move further down the wall and he ties it onto one of the spikes. And this time, you don't even make a check this time. With the rope secured, you can get over the wall relatively easily. And you are now inside the grounds.
Okay. I'm going to make my way through any type of door that looks easily accessible.
Okay. Make a perception check, please, Seth.
Perception. 13.
Okay, so the side that you're on, let's say the left side of the estate, and so you're on the left side of the horseshoe shape, shall we say, because it's an upside down U.
Yeah.
In front of you, in the center of this sort of straight sort of wing of the manor, there are large double doors, which look like they're probably barred on the inside. That being said, though, there's a couple of feet of ground clearance, kind of like, if you imagine one of those, like going to one of those Western saloon bars, they have that kind of ground clearance. So you could easily go prone and roll underneath it to get inside there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So you roll inside, and
that's fine. I was going to say, I was like, make sure there's no people on the other side that I'm going to roll into.
Sure. So using the same perception check, you just kind of stoop down and have a look. Doesn't appear to be any people in there. There is a bit of a smell of dung, but other than that, And you can, sorry, with the 12, you would hear there is some breathing inside of some kind of creature, but it doesn't appear to be a humanoid.
Am I going into the manor or am I going into the stables?
It would appear you're going into the stables, yes.
Yes, I'd like to try the manor.
Okay, so you head round to the side. You're like, yep, that's not a good entrance for me. Do. And can you make a stealth check, please? I mean, you got advantage because you're invisible. But yeah. And then you catch up with the other two.
26.
26. Okay, you are Master of Disguise, Master of Invisibility, and you're heading round the left side. So you'd essentially be heading around to the back of the manor to see if there are any back doors. Meanwhile, Dox, Malar, and the rest kicking up a stink outside. You are fairly confident that Seth has got in at this point. Malar, are you going to continue the charade, or are you changing things up at this point?
I personally would like to think that in the intervening time period, Malar has gone from bluster and bluff and all of this to much more of he's stood between them now, and he's like, and so that is the fable of the man who would climb the mountain. And ecumenically, that relates nicely to the story of the fish who would fly the oceans of the sky. And what this really means, and he's just now, he's gone full waffle mode. Like
he's full on, yes, reciting from the sacred texts. I love it. Have some inspiration.
And as Malar does that, like, because he's now he's between the two guards. He's like,
yes,
one under. He looks at Dox, and as he's talking, like, gives her the eye and like nods her off maybe to the other direction to say, "Go and help, sir." Like,
I'm sorry, Jess. You were sticking fingers up, so go ahead. Apologies.
I would like to try Fey Present, because it's you can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube. So I'm assuming I could pick. So if I can pick the guards,
you could do. Malar could arrange the guards to get them inside a 10-foot cube. Yes.
Yes, amazing. Could I try to charm them, please?
You most certainly can. So Fey Presence, forgive me because Leo has it as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it does.
So you cause each creature. You make a. So the people within the 10-foot cube make a wisdom saving throw, or become charmed or frightened by you until the end of your next turn.
The DC. What's the DC?
14.
Oh, okay. Well, the highest was 11, so they both fail. They are charmed by you.
Amazing. Just to compensate, how about I just take them a tour of the gardens? I've done this many times. I can take them a tour of the gardens, don't you say? And then we'll be back in the morning with no problems.
You want to take us on a tour of the gardens? We would love
to
go on a tour with you.
My master, my employer. So if you guys want to stay here, perfect. Then I'll just take them for the tour of the
no!
Gardens.
We must make sure you are safe. We will, of course, escort you. We would be very happy to escort you across the gardens.
Oh well, if you want to escort little old me across the garden.
Yes, you could take my arm. No, she could take my arm. No. She could take mine, and you could stay here with the rest of them. No. You could stay with the rest of them, and I could take the lovely lizard.
Gentlemen, why don't you take me both? Why don't you both take me?
They both blush a little. We both take you. It's not something I've ever done before, but you are very alluring. So I guess maybe. Okay.
She does her biggest puppy eyes, and I'm absolutely fine with that.
Okay. The rest of you behave and stay out here. My lady, if you would, and they both sort of flank you and offer their arms to you.
Sorry, Jack. I've just realised that accent is very Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows.
I have not
Just
seen
wait.
that. I have not seen that. That's been mentioned a few times in my life. I feel like I should watch it.
Yeah, you should. Sorry, go on.
Both offer their arms and on either side of you, Docs, in your lizard folk disguise.
Fab. I take them straight towards the stables.
All right. Oh, what are we doing in the stables, my dear?
I thought you wanted to take me.
One of them is completely lost for words in bashfulness. The other one, I mean, yes, sure. Come on in. Let's find a comfortable spot. And does it have to be the both of us, or just one at a time, or how would you?
How about you guys find the most suitable stall and make a decision?
Yes.
I'll
yes.
wait out here, and I'll come in when I'm all ready for you.
Yes, my lady. And they both hurry inside, open the door. I know what you're doing now. I love it. Both open the doors. They either side of the stables, like looking for a stall. Once they're out of sight, what are you going to do?
I'm back to Mala.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you go back to the gates. You open the gates and let.
Yeah.
Malar's there along with the rest of the party.
I think you need to go help your friend.
Agreed. Let's. Thank you, Ms. Let's. Yes, let's go.
Leo looks. Leo looks a bit put out and goes, "I can do fey presence too, though."
Now, the moment we get into the grounds, Malar starts to look around for Seth.
You can't see Seth from where you are. I mean, he's invisible for one thing, but two, he doesn't appear to be in the area.
I don't know that. That's the problem.
That's true. But you can. You could start searching. I guess. You would be. I guess it would be survival check. You'd be looking for tracks, right?
No, I you know what? Not that bothered. Gonna go straight towards the front door.
Heading for the front door.
because he knows.
Lovely.
He knows that Seth knows what he's doing.
Seth's doing a thing.
Yeah.
Seth, meanwhile, around the back of the estate, you can see there are a few guards posted, mostly around the perimeter. There is a back door, however, that is unguarded. It looks like a sort of serving entrance, which looks like it'd be suitable for your purposes.
Cool. I'm going to make my way towards it and make my way in. I'm going to have Rallum with me, so I'm going to keep. And when we're inside, I'm going to have him invisible in front of me by flying sort of in place, sort of about 30 feet in front of me, so that he can check corners and such, see what's around there.
The door is locked, so you will need to make a thieves' tools check or a dex check with thieves' tools.
Cool. Yep. Let me pull my thieves' tools up because I think I put expertise in them.
Yep.
Yes. 28.
28. And the
I
stone
love
door,
plus
you'll
11.
lock it. It's pretty dope. Especially when you get reliable talent, which I think is it level 9 or level 10 you get that? That adds extra awesomeness. So anyway, because that means you'll basically get dirty 20s guaranteed. That's obnoxious. I hate it. Good rogues, man. Anyway, click, and the stone door is unlocked, and you can open it, letting you in, as it appears, quite a luxurious kitchen.
Cool. I'm gonna have Rallum separate from me. Actually, I'm gonna tell him to make his way upstairs as stealthily as possible, and try and locate a study or a place where he would have important documents.
Okay. I think at this point would be a nice point for us to end today's session, and we'll pick this up again at the next one in 2 weeks' time, where hopefully we'll have a few more party members alongside us, although it has been really nice to sort of, as I say, spotlight and focus in on a couple of party members. It's sometimes nice to have these more intimate sessions. So guys, thank you so much for playing and for being available tonight. Thank you guys at home for watching, of course, as well, whether you're watching us live here on Twitch or are watching on catch up on YouTube. And if you're doing the latter, then you also can catch up with all of the latest goings on with my sort of summary previously in the Manylands, which I will be I'll be doing it live on Twitch next week. I'm not going to say it at this time because I want to leave some flexibility in case I'm not available, but I will at some point next week be doing a previously in the Manylands campaign, catching us up on the last batch of 5, which will be sessions 80 through 85, with everything that's happened up until that point, as well as some peeks behind the DM screen in terms of world building, in terms of stuff that perhaps was missed by the players, or other sort of machinations and the rest of it that are going on. Just a kind of more relaxed stream, but also with some tidbits and other fun stuff. I hope you can join me for that. I will give you more information about that when I'm going to live stream that on our social media. If you're not following us already, it's at slice&d6, and yeah, I'll drop on there before I end up doing that stream. As for tonight, once again, folks, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure, absolute joy. And I'm always nervous. I'm like getting everything prepared and like, gotta make sure everything's ready for the live stream. But as soon as we get into it, it's always a joy. So thank you so much, and that's down to you guys. So anyway, until next time, whatever you're up to, stay safe and good night and goodbye. Bye.
Bye.